All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 47. It is approximately 7:28 right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. So, what I was going to say is welcome. It's Friday. Also, not to mention, it is the first day of May. So happy May. So I got a couple of things to talk about today to go over and discuss, and where everything is standing coronavirus wise. So things are starting to shape up to be good. I'd say we're about 50% of the way there. We are definitely making progress. Just all around great progress. Progress. That's what everybody's talking about nowadays. Hello, Mohammed Sonic Boom. How are you? Like I said, we're going to give people a couple of minutes to go ahead and join, and we'll begin the discussion regarding the coronavirus in a couple of minutes. Hello, John C. How are you? No penalties. Don't worry. There's no late penalties for that. So yeah, guys, welcome. It's Friday. We've made it through another week. It's May. It's exciting. Coronavirus cases are down. Deaths in the state of New York down. Today, the number was reported 289 deaths and 311 deaths in my state of New Jersey. So the death rate is going down, but slowly, guys. It is going down slowly. How is your jazz paper coming along? Believe it or not, my jazz paper was actually due today, and I handed it in, submitted it, and now I'm just waiting for the final exam on that class not this upcoming Tuesday, but next Tuesday will be my final exam. Andrew Reams made elevator filming popular back in the day. So the story behind it is he liked the elevator experience at the famous bar store in St. Louis, Missouri. And then in 5th grade on a magazine, he saw a picture of an elevator at the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta, Georgia, and little Reams really wanted to go film there. So, at the time he was riding the elevators, but, he didn't have a camera. So he was able to use a camera in the year 1993, and that was one of the very early recordings of elevator filming. So elevator filming has pretty much been around since the late 90s, and it really, over the years, it's really developed into a much more sophisticated community. We have people filming with their phones. I particularly prefer a video camera. That's just my preference, in my opinion. But smartphone cameras, video cameras, which is what I prefer. And of course, all other types of cameras that I can get into, but I like the camcorder. That's one of my favorites in particular. Excuse me. So like I said, let's give people just a couple more minutes to go ahead and join. And yeah. Hey, Photo Electric Elevators, how are you?
Travis Scott.
Go ahead and lock that. There. Don't need him coming in again. Always, guys, this shirt I'm wearing, it has all the elevator brands: Otis, Kone, ThyssenKrupp, Schindler. It's a pretty cool shirt. My best friend's mom actually, gave it to me for one of my birthdays because I'm really close with them. So, they didn't have to, but I do appreciate the shirt all in all. You got Otis, Kone, ThyssenKrupp, Schindler. It's actually one of my favorite shirts.
Cactus Jack.
I almost have to put this on silent. Sorry about that. I was just being an idiot. I have read that 49 Simon malls will open in 2 weeks, but not in the New York. Yeah, mostly in the South. So it's going to be a slow by slow process. Like I said, I don't know when the malls around here in particular are going to reopen. But I'm going to keep you guys posted about that. It's probably going to be somewhere between it's going to be between mid-May and early June. That's what I'm assuming for malls right now. Mid-May would be great, but I think it's going to be more towards the end of May, probably early June. And I'm pretty much waiting until Macy's is going to start opening up their stores, and I'll wait for the other department stores. Because when I go out to Long Island, it's a one-shot deal. Like I'm not what's it called? I'm not doing anything else regarding that otherwise. But yeah, so that's what I'm waiting for. So I guess I should go ahead now and show the COVID-19 charts. I mean, we're definitely on the downward spiral, which is fantastic news. It's definitely now going more south. The north isn't getting hit as hard. So I'll go ahead and do that. So where we're standing with COVID right now, today is May 1st. So we are here. We still have a little bit of ways to go, but we're definitely at the downward spiral of the curve. So starting off with my state of New Jersey, it did spike up again. The numbers were down again. I believe the number of deaths was 311. It went up to 400 again. And again, that's only because the coronavirus cases is spreading to the south and also to the nursing homes. Yeah, no, guys, nursing homes are now the epicenter. I would not expect visits to nursing homes to resume at least until the middle of July. And that's just hypothetically speaking. So it is going to take some time for this to go down. But I think we're on the downward spiral of it. And I think, right after Memorial Day is probably going to be a pretty good day to start reopening stuff again. As for New York, again, they're going down significantly. Like I said, the number of deaths that was reported today was 289. Still a very significant number, but it is definitely at an all-time low. So very good. They're finally getting to the probably 3/4 of the way of being down to the rates where they can start opening up businesses again. Now, unfortunately, I do hate to say this, but I am going to make this announcement right now. Unfortunately, it was just announced today by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo that New York State schools will not be opening up for the rest of the academic year. It was just announced today, given the circumstances of the coronavirus pandemic, it would not be appropriate to reopen up New York State schools. Now, the reason I believe this was a smart decision was because the number of coronavirus cases and infection rates and hospitalizations and deaths is going down. I think the last thing that New York State wants to take on is for that curve to go like, you see my hand right now? So they don't want the curve to go like that. They don't want it to bend. See, right now it's going down, down, down. They don't want the curve to bend and then whoop, it starts going up again. I don't think it was a great decision, but I do believe it was the most necessary decision for the time being, just because of the way that the virus is going. Like I said, the last thing that I think New York State wants is for the downward spiral curve to bend back up, and then the spike is even bigger, and then it takes even longer to go down. So from a standpoint, it was a better decision to keep schools closed. And I know it wasn't everybody's favorite decision, but I think it is necessary. That way, it gives educators time to rethink classrooms for the fall and making sure that everybody returns safely back to the buildings by September. And I hope by then, there will be some kind of vaccine and remdesivir. And hopefully I think this will never happen again. I think we will be much more prepared, and I don't think this will ever happen again. And I do also think China has to pay, the World Health Organization has to pay, and the Communist Party of China has to fall. That's the bottom line. I mean, that's not really it's not really worth it to visit Monmouth for a ThyssenKrupp. Maybe it's something else significant closed there. I'm not going there for a ThyssenKrupp. I can see that up here. I'm not wasting my time with that. Maryland? Oh yeah, sure. So unfortunately, Maryland, they have a really good governor. I think his name is Larry Hogan, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, yeah, they Maryland unfortunately is still peaking, but I guess I should show it because one of my viewers wants to see Maryland. So the position that Maryland was in, they definitely have peaked, but they went down again, up again, down and up. They went up again. Maryland didn't get hit as bad, actually. Their highest death rate was 121. That's still a lot of lives lost, but the fact that Maryland didn't get hit as bad is actually really good news. So that's why, too. And hello, Dylan D. Jesus, how are you? Yeah, the Nordstrom's elevators are my favorite elevators at Westfield Garden State Plaza. All the other ones are literally trash. That's one of my favorite sets. It's even the store too and the architecture, and that's what I like too. It's very open. It's not like closed off. Like it's a very opened thing. So yeah. PA has now restarted its construction today. Okay, good. That means Candemonium at Hershey Park has resumed construction operations as of today. So it would be nice to see Candemonium opened up. I would say by the middle of June. I'll probably have to end up going a weekend, depending on how the situation is regarding the virus. But I think by then, I think by summer we can just put this madness behind us because this is only going to last so long. So I'm happy to see that people are finally starting to realize, yeah, we have to get back to reality. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad Texas did that. Um, I think China has to pay because China was the cause, and especially the city of Wuhan, they were the cause of all this madness of the virus. And they caused a world pandemic. That's the bottom line. It's just they have to pay, and the World Health Organization too, because China lobbied to them. And I don't like to sound political here, but that's why China has to pay. And it's nothing against Chinese people, but China has to pay because they were the cause of a world pandemic. They caused it, and they could play the blame game and say they didn't do it. That's why I don't like China. I mean, yes, things are made in China, but we gotta put our foot down and say enough is enough. We got to start making stuff here in America. We can't just rely on China. So that's why they have to pay. And the Communist Party of China has to fall because that is one of the most ugliest parties in the world. That's just my opinion. Someone could say it another way, but that's just how I feel about this whole thing with the virus. That's why I have to say something like that. Yeah. Remote learning will pretty much continue for the rest of the school year, and then schools will resume operation in September with probably some social distancing guidelines. Oh yeah, I could probably see Candemonium opening up in middle of June. I could see that, but it all depends on how Pennsylvania organizes the counties and stuff. Right now, only the northern part of the state, like the northern western part of the state, some counties literally just entered the yellow phase as of today. So it's a wait and see game pretty much at this point. But yeah, I definitely want to see Candemonium this year. I am looking forward to going out there this summer at some point. Not obviously not during my summer courses. Anyways, let me go ahead and turn this light on. It's actually, oh, you know what? I was playing around with some earlier today. That's why this is not going in. Whoop, sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, much better. Why are department stores turning into mixed use at malls? Malls have to rethink ways to use older classic department store space, and they want the revenue and they want consumers to come to their centers because they have all these stores. So that's why they're splitting it up. I mean, that was the whole thing with Sears and Seritage Growth Properties. They split up the former Sears stores, and Eddie Lampert just walked away with the cash. I still hate Eddie Lampert with the burning passion because that man has done nothing but destroy a great company. And people, people that worked at Sears, and this is what they built their foundations on. This is what they were committed to. They were committed to work at Sears right out of college, and now it's just, I mean, at this point, Sears is hanging on by a thread, and I could very well see the next round of stores closing. I would say probably the middle of June at this point. They'll probably announce maybe one or two more rounds, and then the whole thing, I think, is going to be done by fall 2020. As for Modell's, they're probably going to be seeing their fate too by the end of 2020. There's completely ceasing all operation. And it's interesting, and it's funny too, Modell's literally made their announcement about liquidating all their stores right as retailers were beginning to close their stores. Well, I mean, unfortunately, we are in a scenario where, students have to suck it up and say, you know what, this is a global pandemic, and, this is what we have to deal with. I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's a good thing right now for students who are just going to be beginning high school at the end of this year, but it still stinks that they're now going to be forced into, having to do graduations at home, and it stinks. I mean, I have a couple of friends who are seniors this year, and now they're not going to be part of the prom. Honestly, I think they get it. We gotta put our fun aside, and this is an actual world crisis. But it's. I mean, ultimately, we do have to put our foot down, and people have to get back to work. The governor today in Michigan just extended the stay-at-home order till May 15th. After that, they have to start opening up stuff again. I totally get the May 15th thing, but after that, we have to start opening up again. Otherwise, people are going to really suffer. Yeah, Nordstrom's is one of my favorite stores at the mall. Me too, man. Me too. If this whole thing with the coronavirus didn't happen, I would have been able to go to Smith Haven. I'm still going to go to Smith Haven, just probably at a much later time. I wish the world was a better place. I think their students' senior year is ruined. Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are seniors in high school. They're not going to get a prom. Who the hell knows if they're even going to have a graduation ceremony? Probably not if they're going to order all school buildings closed until the end of the year. I mean, the only way I could see students back in the building is if they actually allow the students and their families only, their close families, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think by then, I don't know. It's really tough to tell right now. But the good news is Macy's started outlining their plans to have all their stores back up and running from 6 to 8 weeks. So I think that's good. I think Macy's is taking a step in the right direction. They're going to emerge as a smaller company. So, but I will keep you guys posted about closings and stuff, as it gets closer. I just found out from my college today that, what's it called? I just found out today that I'm going to be going back to get, I guess, 25% of my stuff out of there by, I believe, sometime after May 14th. They're supposed to be sending some email next week, so I'll just find that out pretty soon. If time machines are real. Yeah, but the science and the technology is not there yet, unfortunately. No, they cannot legally do that. Legally in New Jersey, the school year must end before June 30th. So at this point, it's just going to be everybody going back in September, the ones that aren't graduating. I could very well see seniors who actually do have Chromebooks. They're probably going to have to drop them off at the school. And they're going to have like a whole collection. It's here you go. Here's your diploma. I could see schools sending where you drop off your Chromebook and then you get your diploma and then you leave. That's what's going to happen. Is you're going to go to the school, you'll pull up in a parking lot, they'll have like a little, tent there. You'll be like, here's the Chromebook, here's the charger, here's the diploma, have a nice day. It's scary to say that, but at this point, that's what the reality of it is looking like, unfortunately. And I do hate to say that, but that unfortunately is the truth. And I mean, New Jersey hasn't announced plans yet, but I think they're going to be announcing it at some point next week, just to say, you know what, we're not going to open up schools for the rest of the year. And same thing with Connecticut too. I just don't see them opening up schools this year. So I think all the states are going to make the decisions by this week, and then that's the end of schools. And then hopefully everyone's summer won't be ruined, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that, obviously. Well, I mean, they got to realize it's a world pandemic. It's, I mean, I'd be angry, but you know what? It's the reality of it. I mean, my college canceled all events. I mean, I was going to transfer out of there either way, but still, to enjoy every last bit of it, and then to be told halfway through your semester to not come back and only go back to get 75% of the stuff. The one thing I don't like what my school did was they waited until Friday after everybody was there. They should have just said right there, set in stone, don't come back to campus, but they didn't. So, the good news is at least I'll be able to go back in the middle of May and get the rest of my junk out of there, which is nice. Am I upset that proms are canceled for my friends? A little bit, because it's like you know, they in a video, yeah. Yeah, I think it is, but I don't know because I think instruction for non-essential was halted, I believe. So I don't even know when that's going to open. Hey, New Jersey Transit Rail Fanner, how are you? Underscore Rail Fanner. Is the IKEA store part of Westfield Garden State Plaza? No, that is a separate shopping complex. That is owned by Levin Management. IKEA is the anchor there, and you got Bed Bath and Beyond and Christmas tree shops, and then you have the abandoned Sports Authority there. Yeah, I found out. I looked on the announcement today. It was a very smart move. I think, in my opinion, about schools. The problem, and I wish I had a drawing board to show you guys. But I think if schools were to start reopening, so this is in New York right now, they're on a very downward spiral. I think the last thing they want is if schools were to reopen, this is what would happen with the curve. See, my hand is bending, and then boom, it would just go up and up, and then it would just keep going up. So I don't think they don't want the reason why they're not opening up schools is they don't want this to happen. They want this to happen where it slowly goes down, flattens, and then goes down and stays like that. So I call it a smart move. It wasn't an easy decision. I don't think. I think there was a lot at stake, especially for kids in New York. But I think he made the smart call. Tell them, listen, you're staying home for the rest of the year. We'll see you all in September. That's it. And then hopefully by then this will never happen again. Hey, King Cobra, how are you? Can you show the data? Sure, I guess. Will NJ schools be closed? Oh, really? Today is Amtrak's birthday. I did not know that. Amtrak, really? Amtrak was established May 1st? Wow, I did not know that. Wow, May 1st, 1971. Did not know that, New Jersey Transit Rail Fanner. That is a very interesting fact. I did not know that Amtrak was born on May 1st, 1971. So Amtrak is 43 years old or 49. Yeah, well, Macy's just came up with a thing where they're going to have hand sanitizer dispensers at each of their elevators and escalators, which is smart. That's smart thinking. I don't know if Sears and J.C. Penney and Lord and Taylor are going to do the same, but they should follow in Macy's footsteps. Yeah, Schindler MEI. But yeah, let me show the data since there's a couple more people here. Let's see. Let's go to. By the way, yeah. Okay. Let's go to New Jersey. So no, that's North Carolina. Okay, there we go. So this is New Jersey. It's been spiking up here and there a little bit, but it has definitely been going down. So 398. It was up again 460, I think, and today it definitely went down. It tanked all the way to 311. So it's going to keep going down, 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 and then by this point, we can start to see places open up again. So New York too is definitely on the decline. New York only had 289 deaths. That's a new low. That's pretty much a new low for today, which is great news. In the United States too, definitely not really seeing any more cases of corona virus, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. New York just announced today that they would be closing the hospital at the Javits Center, and that the USS Comfort would be leaving the New York City harbor, and it would be shipped back to Norfolk, Virginia, which is some fantastic news to hear. So definitely some progress being made. So it's nice to see the Javits Center Hospital closing now. Finally, at the beginning of the May, hospitals can finally handle the coronavirus capacity, which is great. I'm glad that our area actually overprepared, because we didn't know which way it was going to go. But with social distancing and people not being outside, it worked. So now we just have to keep this up for another 3 to 4 weeks, and then we can start easing some restrictions very slowly. I can't answer that. I would imagine there's going to be an announcement on Monday, but I do think New Jersey schools at this point are probably going to close, especially if they're just closed. New York State, New Jersey is next, and Connecticut is next too. I think people will be able to leave their homes this summer. They can't just stay cooped up in their houses forever. I think there is going to be limited summer activities in New York City, but people will be getting out of trip. Will be going out at least. They can't stay inside their houses forever, especially the ones that live in apartments. Hmm. Wow. 2013. 94. Wow. That's a good life. That's a really good life. Yeah. My grandfather actually died 3 years ago. 2017. He was 99 years old, almost 100, almost 100. He was born in 1918, but he died in 2017. 99. That is a pretty good lifespan. Pretty good lifespan. 94 is too. Definitely a good lifespan. Why is American Dream more? I did, but I don't know. It's gonna depend. What I'm looking at malls, the earliest I think is mid-May, and the latest would be mid-June. So I think malls are going to open up between mid-May and mid-June, and that depends on how everything falls into place. But yeah, I'm happy, guys. Finally, my last week of school, but I have to take summer classes. It's not the worst thing in the world, especially if they're going to be online. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I could see everything opened up back by June 15th, and way before then, I think. That would be the latest that stores could open up. But I think the timeline from all opening up, it's probably going to be somewhere between May 15th and June 15th, depending on how things go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when when it's their time to go, and nature takes its course, and that's it. It was their time. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good to hear that your learning program has clubs. So definitely a way for all the students to get involved. That's really good, actually. Hi, hello there. I love elevators. How are you? Hershey Park. I don't know. I think J.C. Penney is waiting on to make an announcement. But yeah, I've never been to Willowbrook Mall in a long time. But if I've been there. Um, that's a tough one. Bloomingdale used to be Macy's, but then they what's it called? They changed out the motor. It used to be a very classic Horton motor, and then they ruined it as usual. I don't know the answer to that. The 6 feet situation. Yeah, he's in heaven. Hold on, guys. 1 second. I just have to mute the mic real quick. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right, sorry about that, guys. My dad actually just made some delicious chocolate chip cookies. Mm, wow. I will tell you guys, Pillsbury Doughboy cookies, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Because they're nice and chewy and they're just nice and soft and they just literally melt in your mouth, which is just fantastic. Yep, you're correct about that. I heard the announcement this morning. You're the third person today to say that in the chat. Yeah, these are so good. Oh my God. Yeah, I like the Pillsbury Doughboy commercials. I always like Pillsbury Doughboy. They really do make some great stuff. I also love their biscuits too. Those are always good. Biscuits, their cookies. I always love Pillsbury cookie dough. My mom used to get the big tube of it. Oh man, wow. I think she'd make like 3 trays of the cookies. They were so good. I mean, these are pretty good too, but yeah, those were the bomb. Oh my God. But yeah, I don't know when Macy's is going to reopen in this area. They're going to start on May 11th, and they're going to just keep going from there. I think. Abraham and Strauss opened up at Roosevelt Field in 1956. No, I don't think so. Really, I did not know that they were called biscuits in Australia. Interesting. I actually personally didn't know that. That's very interesting. Oh, oh, because it probably moved around. Yeah, that was a nice A&S at Roosevelt Field. It's looking good. It's looking good regarding the virus. Toaster strudels are pretty good too. I've had them. Um, Most likely your boy from Poland. Hi, I guess. Because I guess because JCPenney at Roosevelt Field is a high demand store, and they didn't want to keep an old classic elevator in there. Also, the JCPenney at Roosevelt Field is a high gross performing store for the company, but I think they did it because the pumps were failing, I guess, and they just needed to modernize them badly. So that's why. Mm. Sorry, I just really wanted to finish the cookies. They're so good. Hey, Michael, how are you? I'm still here. I just wanted to finish the cookies. I've never heard of dihydrogen monoxide. Oh, damn it. One thing I do need when all this craziness is over is a haircut. As you can tell, guys, my hair is incredibly long. And I need it. Um, I don't think so because it's hard to modernize an elevator at a high performing store. But I think eventually down the road it will. Really, I did not know that. Wow. Natick Mall? No, I've never been to Massachusetts before. I bought something at J.C. Penney in 2019. I bought a cotton candy maker called the Hard Candy Cotton Maker. Why would J.C. Penney even sell that? That's weird. Oh, you are? Yeah, I'm just waiting for the barber to open up again. So that's what I'm waiting for. Oh, nice. Yeah. I can't, no, I definitely can't cut my hair. That has to be professionally done. Because I think Simon didn't know how bad the virus was going to get. Well, nobody did. I mean, no one predicted. I mean, shit, no one predicted that we'd be inside all of March. I mean, I had to I missed out on Easter. So clearly that's when you know that at the time it was a crisis. Not as bad as it is now, as it was then. But the good news is we reached the peak and we're now on the other side of the mountain. So down the road. I wouldn't say anytime soon, but down the road maybe. Yeah, I know. The whole thing with James Brock is sad. Yeah, I still can't believe he was murdered by his boyfriend. Even to think about that, that's scary stuff. And then there was Nikki Stakay was the other one, that the other elevator filmer, and he died. He sadly died in a car accident. So it's scary because it's like these were people that we knew very well, and now here we are, you know, having to be grieving over the loss of them. I just close the windows because it's getting much darker outside. I like my windows shut at night. So yeah, malls are definitely closed in Puerto Rico. I don't think there's any exception for Puerto Rico since it's part of our country. Well, that's pro. Oh yeah, that's right. JC Penney does a home section. What am I thinking? I was in a JC Penney with a home section when I filmed it 2 years ago at Westfield Garden State. Yeah, every Simon Mall is closed. That's not just Roosevelt Field. That goes for all Simon Malls, but they're going to open up soon. Yeah, every governor had to do an executive order, but some states are starting to ease restrictions with strict guidelines. So now the question is, will I wear a mask when I go to a mall? Not an N95 mask. I don't want to look like I just came out of a hospital, but a very, very small light cloth mask. Yeah, I cannot do an N95 mask and a mall. I just not possible unless it's in a hospital. Then I'd say maybe. Oh, nice. Absolutely, I would plead him guilty. Two reasons. One, he screwed over the average American making money at Sears, and he screwed them out of jobs in favor of getting in newer retail tenants through his other property called Seritage Growth Properties. So not only did he, so first of all, he screwed over the malls. Then he screwed over the actual workers. These are people, that they put their life and career um, into Sears, and that's it. I wouldn't wear a mask. I would just wear a very, very tiny little cloth And that's really it. I would not wear one of those big masks. Like, that's just unnecessary. And N95 masks are needed for frontline workers. I'm fine with wearing a very light cloth covering. Well, I'm sure he's been sentenced to jail ever since then. Because JCPenney probably at the time when they made that recording did not know how long this was going to go on for. I could very well see JCPenney opening up probably in May. A light mask, a very light mask, not an N95 mask. If it's a very, very light cloth mask like the one I had on the other day on the coronavirus update live stream, yes, but not a big, giant N95 mask that could be used for somebody on the front lines or somebody who has certain medical conditions. No, I would not wear one of those. They were painful. I wore it once in ShopRite when I was getting groceries. It was horrible. It was just painful, and it was painful to stay there in that mask. I'm like, I am never wearing this mask again. Just painful. The light mask, I'm fine with that, but not the heavy mask unless I am absolutely going into an area where it is hospitals, where it is a hospital. Other than that, no, I do not see myself wearing an N95 mask. Is it true that JCPenney is closing all stores? No, that's not true. Can you show the pictures of the mass gathering? We went over this on Wednesday. I'm not going to show it again. You can look it up. Just look up Williamsburg, Brooklyn mass gathering. I think that was one of the worst things to happen. I get it, but they could have done it in a much more organized way where they could have said, listen, could we do a salute while practice social distancing? That's what they should have done. I think that would have been smart. But instead, they thought, hey, let's all gather in the middle of Williamsburg, Brooklyn, right? It's not like there's a pandemic that's going on. I mean, why would you even think that it's a good idea to gather? And the scary part is some people weren't even wearing masks. Like, come on, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. And not to mention, mass gatherings are banned. So you're already you're a double standard by breaking a law. So, what they should have done, in my opinion, was number one, they should have contacted the city and the government and said, listen, this is a very important Jewish figure that passed away. How can we do this in a smart way without breaking any rules? You can't just gather in the middle of Brooklyn during a pandemic. They should have contacted the government. They should have gotten someone on the phone from the mayor's office. And they should have said, what is the smartest way can we do this? Can we have blocks of time where certain members of the family can go see them and then stream the service online? I think what should have been done. They should have not gathered in Brooklyn. That was just an awful sight to see, especially on the news. I was just like, why? This could have been done in a much better way. But you know what? They said, screw it. We'll just do it anyway, break the laws. Who cares? We got money and we got power. Just because you have money and meaning that you're on top of everyone else doesn't mean you're better than everybody else. So, but I'm glad, number one, that the NYPD showed up and they said, everybody go the home. I'm glad that they did that, and I respect them for that. Good. Tell people, stay the home. If you're not, exercising or doing essential travel, go the home. That's it. Done. I don't know about that. I bet Evil Eddie thinks he can't get the virus along with Larry the Loser. Well, they're both immune to it because they don't get the vaccine, but they'll be one of the first because they're well connected. So they'll be one of the first. When will Hamilton Mall close its doors? I know it's going to be deserted real soon, just like Burlington Center. Yeah. I think at this point it's inevitable. I mean, especially with JCPenney out and Sears out, it's only a matter of time for Macy's to pull the plug on that mall. Police cars drove right through the people. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You cannot do a gathering like that. That's not allowed, especially during this time. And they had buses there, they had everything. I was absolutely disgusted. Like you can't do something like that. Yeah, and then it ends up on the front of the New York Times or one of those newspapers. I don't know. That's just me. No, there was a Toys R Us at the Elizabeth 13A Center, but that is gone. It was that Toys R Us was actually a concept for Kids World. It was like it was a concept that Toys R Us came up with. It was a bigger version of Toys R Us. It's abandoned now, but it was a bigger version of your typical Toys R Us store. But it was a Toys R Us, a Babies R Us, a Big Lots, and what's it called? And the IKEA. One of the two IKEAs in New Jersey. It's one of the two IKEAs in New Jersey. You have IKEA in Paramus near Westfield Garden State Plaza, and then you have the IKEA in Elizabeth near Newark Liberty International Airport. Yeah. Oh no, I'm hoping that Sears doesn't close. At this point, I love elevators. Sears is literally hanging on by a thread. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time for them to close the store. Really, I thought not essential construction was stopping. Yeah, they're gone. Toys R Us. Final day for Toys R Us was June 27th, 2018. Or 29th. They all ceased operation after that. Very sad, huge and significant loss. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one. Yeah, we lost that. And then also Liquidators, too. That was another huge loss. National Wholesale Liquidators. What names again in New York City? Everybody will just get a citation, and I'm sure it's going to be a hefty fine of $1,000. That'll be fun to see that. But you can't mass gather. Now, speaking of that, if any of you are going to a park this weekend in New Jersey and in New York State, please only go for passive recreation. Just go for a walk. Do not sit down at a bench at a park. Don't do it. Don't go sneaking into a park. Don't gather in the middle of the park. Remember, you're there to get out of your house and to get fresh air. It's a good test. I would like for my state to pass the test. New York has done a pretty good job so far. Only go for passive recreation. Do not, and I repeat, do not go there so that you can go there and gather with a group of your friends and blast music. Don't be the knucklehead that is going to be the one that's going to be on the front of the New York Times. Sorry about that. Yeah, do not be the one that causes that. Will do. Will do. I hope not. I hope not. But yeah. Yeah, for Texas it is over. And then the stay-at-home order ended yesterday. Yeah, same temperature here. So definitely, guys, when you go to the parks, don't do it for passive recreation. Don't do it for what's it called? Don't gather in the parks. Don't be the knuckleheads that break the law, because if that does happen, they will have to close parks again. That's not bad. I don't know about mass gatherings. Yes. Really, I did not know that. But oh, all right, guys. I would love to stay on. Unfortunately, I do have to get off for the night. So thank you guys for watching. I know this is getting cut off short, but make sure you guys. I don't think there will be. I think people will be smart this summer. But I want to go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. I know this is early, but what can I say? It's unfortunately time to wrap it up. So, anyways, guys, I just want to give you a big thanks. I know this wasn't easy for anybody, but we're doing a good job. We're doing a good job. Let's keep staying home, practice social distancing. Guys, make sure to get out the parks this weekend. Wear a very light covering for a face mask and just walk in a park. Don't gather, just walk in a park and be smart. Please, guys, I don't want this to be taken away in New Jersey again. It was very nice of Phil Murphy to bring it back. The last thing I would wish for Phil Murphy to reverse his course and tell people to just stay home. So the most important thing is be smart, stay home, go outside if you need to, and go to a park near your house. Don't travel far for a park. Go to a park that's near your house. I have a park just down the road from me that I'm probably going to be walking through tomorrow. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this live stream, and we will see you next time. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.